Hello and welcome back to this video. This is part 2. I'm just finishing off cutting the plate. You can see the work I've done on it so far, and there is just this end section now that I need to clear away the background. It's the area that's going to print white, and I'll just show you how I do that. So I've gone round, and from the drawing and the tracing that I made, I've cut a millimetre line with a millimetre U-gouge into the surface of the liner, and now I'm just going over it, clearing the areas that I'm going to leave white. One thing about working with this vinyl, the Japanese vinyl, you do find that sometimes that they don't come out that easy. You've got to take a knife, and when you've been clearing an area, a cut like this, you'll get into a corner and it just won't come off, so you need a little knife. I use a little scalpel, and I will just nick it off like that. And often you can see that there's just a little bit of green left, which is one of the advantages of this Japanese vinyl, the different colours of the surface, which allows you to see what's left behind that could quite possibly print. So again, I'll just nick that like that, and then that will just, or should just, lift out. Yeah. So with the area here now, what I will do, I'll take this, which is more of a clearing gouge that I use. They come in a couple of sizes, and obviously I want a small one for this because it's quite a small area that I'm clearing the surface off. So again, you can see that it's catching a bit. It can be a bit tedious, but I'm happy to make that compromise because I like the sharpness and the detail that you can achieve with this type of relief plate. Quite often I find that lino, unless it's really fresh and your tools are really sharp, which is not an excuse really, but that lino can crumble quite easily and you lose the sharpness of the cut. But maybe that's just me. I mean, you do see a lot of very intricate, highly detailed work done on lino. So it must, people, as I always say, printmakers are always different. They work in different ways, and I'm no exception. So I'm going to go on now and finish cutting this lino plate, and then the next stage will be to make a registration board. Although it's a one colour print, so there doesn't need to be a great emphasis on the registration of the print, just to get it looking reasonably square on the paper. Really, that's what I'm intending. So I will go through that, and I will select the paper, cut it to size. The plate size that I'm working with is 30 by 40 centimeters. So I would expect that I tend to leave a border of sort of 5 centimeters around the edge of the print paper spare. So it will be 50 centimeter by 40 centimeter paper size. And I will look to do an addition of 8. Colour-wise, I'm not quite certain yet. I've got an idea of a pale blue in my head, but also just a black print as well. I don't know. We will try and see. So as you can see, I've got everything set up now. I'm ready to print. I've got my paper cut to size, 40 centimetre by 50 centimetre sheets. I'm using a Fabriano paper, and I've got some simile, which I use for testing the print. I've mixed up some ink already. I'm using Cranfield's inks, Cranfield's Safe Wash Relief inks. And I've wiped everything down, cleaned it. So I'm hoping there's no hairs or dust, because I do have a cat who is quite happy to frequent my workspace. So I do need to be careful. So I mixed up the colour. I'm not quite sure about it, but we'll have a look. You've got to start somewhere, really. So here we go. Just pull the ink down the glass slab. And my glass slab is actually a glass chopping board. Obviously one without perforations on it, texture on it. So I've got that rolling out now, and it's a nice gentle hiss on that. So I'm now going to start applying the ink to my lino plate. It's looking all right. It's just one area I've seen that it's catching on the underside, the cutaway area, which I don't want to put any ink onto. Although I've got registration pins on this baseboard here, I'm not using a registration pins, because it's just a one colour one, and an approximate placement on the paper will do fine. I'm just going to take this little bit here out. Take that away, and I will just check around the edge to see if there's any paint, any ink that's been placed onto the baseboard. I'll check the surface of the lino, make sure it's a good coating that it's got. Bit exciting because it's the first print from this plate, and we'll see what happens. I'm just going to try and zoom in a little bit. Right. So this one is not the full size of the sheet that I'm using. It's just a tester. I nearly always use a piece of baking parchment between the barron, and the barron that I'm using is a ball bearing barron from hand printed. So I did move the paper because it didn't cover the plate, so it won't be a perfect print, but it will give me an idea. of what we've got here. So I'll put that to one side. I'm now just going to lift up the edge and have a look. Yeah, not so bad. There's just areas that it's missed. Just one of the little bamboo barons to get the edges, which I quite often miss with the big bearing baron. So let's have a look. It's not bad. First print, it's not bad. So put that to one side. Ink up again. So I'm just inspecting the plate to see if there's any areas that I can see that I have missed. And I'm not sure there is. So this time we're going to go with one of the Fabriano sheets. It's a nice cartridge. It's about 220 gram, I think. So I'm quite happy with this. So yeah, I just know where my registration marks are. Drop it on. Sheet of baking parchment. And a bit of hand baron pressure. And then again, I will just go over the edges, just go over the edges with this. Quite often I'll keep lifting it till I'm happy, lifting one side until I'm happy with the print underneath. Sometimes I'll use a little roller for the pressure. That can be quite useful as well. Yeah, it's not bad. Just a couple of areas that I want to improve on. I'll just take a look at this side. Yeah, this one needs a little bit more. So by keeping it in place, I can just go back and add a little bit more ink to the areas that I think it needs. It's just a spot that I missed there. That's it. Right. quite a graphic image, this, and I want it to become quite a solid print. I'm not looking for characteristics that you would get normally in a lino print. I want a clean, sharp image. I think I'm quite happy with that. We'll lift it and have a look. So that's the print in the moment. So I'm going to go on and print 8 of these. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm pleased with that. You join me again as I'm just finished the last print. So I'm going to peel it back and have a look at it. Edition of 8, done in the blue. And yeah, I'm pleased that it's come out as I expected it to, really. That's excellent. Just an area here that needs a little bit more, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply a bit more ink on that area. This is what I like about working with a hand baron. You can see, you can lift the paper, lift the print and have a look and see how it's looking. Just needs a bit more pressure, so just rub it with my fingernails. That's better. So I think I'm done. Just a matter of cleaning up. May I present Nigel Morris 2021 in the moment. It's quite an intricate one. It's interesting because I can play around with the foreground, the ribbons, for want of a better word, and there's the background to play around with as well. So in the next print, who knows? Here we are, and this one's ready to get some cutting done on it. The black marks indicate, the black and white marks indicate the area that I've got to carve away. And then I've got ideas with this one too. Thanks for watching.